the left, once again, attempting to limit the Second Amendment in ways they don't even comprehend themselves. This time against one of these. This is not a firearm. They're going to try to ban this. It looks like a glorified pencil holder. Primarily used for disabled veterans to enjoy the recreation of shooting. Joining us now for more, Georgia Congressman and member of the House Appropriations Committee, Congressman Andrew Clyde. Sir, appreciate being here.
Well, good morning, Carl. Appreciate being with you this morning.
So this awful, murderous, deadly piece of plastic is what the ATF has changed the definition of a rifle to basically accommodate this. So it is an assault thing now. Now, I have an untold number of these on an untold number of firearms, and I find this highly puzzling that they're going to now classify a bunch of people as felons if they don't march in to register these under the NFA.
Yeah, it's very troubling. As a matter of fact, when the ATF decides to redefine a definition, then they are truly making new law, and ATF does not have the authority to make new law. That is, the legislative branch. That's Congress. Congress does that, not the ATF. And so they have overstepped their bounds here, and it is high time that as soon as this rule gets published in the Federal Register, at that point it will become official. And then we will introduce a Congressional Review Act joint resolution to take this rule down so that this rule will never be able to come back. It's just unacceptable that the ATF tries to create new law. You know, the whole point of it, in my opinion, is to get more guns registered through the National Firearms Act, the NFA. And you know, what happens after registration is obviously confiscation.
Sure.
I mean, it's amazing that they gave only 120 days to register what could be, 3 to 40 million firearms, which is impossible. It's absolutely impossible. So those folks that are, quote, found with the arm brace on their firearm unregistered after the 120 days are subject to confiscation.
But Congressman, apologies here, but I'm not a constitutional scholar. I don't have a law degree. I don't even have an undergrad. But it's pretty simple, shall not be infringed. So if I own a firearm with this lawfully purchased in the state of Connecticut on it, I have never committed any crimes. I feel like we are the first ones taxed and the last ones considered every time. How is it not infringing on my right to keep and bear that arm if all of a sudden I have to do more things to comply with something that I already own legally?
You're absolutely right, Carl. That's the big issue right here. The Second Amendment has a supremacy clause, shall not be infringed. And our federal government, the executive branch, is ignoring that supremacy clause. And it's time for Congress to step up, whether it's through the Congressional Review Act that I just mentioned or introduction of the Short Act. Myself and Senator Marshall will be introducing that with multiple co-sponsors, and that will literally remove short-barreled rifles and short-barreled shotguns from the National Firearms Act. What difference does it make what the barrel length of your gun is? It should make absolutely no difference whatsoever. Okay. If it's a 16-inch barrel, then it's not required to be registered. If it's a 15-inch barrel, it is required to be registered. That's arbitrary, in my opinion.
Right.
So the Short Act, I think, would solve that permanently. But the Congressional Review Act, this joint resolution is a big step forward, and I'll be proud to introduce that as soon as this rule is published in the Federal Register.
And Congressman, I got about 30 seconds left, but these are bureaucrats that have no, like you saw when Chipman was trying to get confirmed. He had no idea what an assault rifle was, yet he was criticizing them. He couldn't even define it because it's not even a real thing. At some point, do they have to know what they're legislating in order to introduce something?
Well, you would expect that they would. I personally spoke with ATF Director Dettelbach on Tuesday at the SHOT Show, and I just told him, I'm sorry, but this is just unacceptable what you're doing here, especially after the bump stock ruling that we had on January the 6th that struck down the bump stocks, where ATF tried to again or previously redefine a definition and create new law, and it's simply unacceptable.
Well, Congressman, I was at SHOT Show. I missed you there, so it was a fantastic ride. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you fighting for my useless piece of plastic that is now some sort of deadly thing on it itself, even though it's not a firearm. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, Carl.
All right.